Hey guys, my name is Fotis Nicolaou and this is the Calm and Profitable podcast show where we talk about how you can enjoy more leads, sales and profits without hating your good looking self. Now, throughout the years, I have written over 3,000 emails both for my own businesses and my clients. And I thought it would be like a very cool idea to create a podcast with, some of the things I've learned throughout the years. I sent my first email to my list back in 2016. So it's been a while. And lots of stuff learned, lots of mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, you're not gonna learn anything. That's what I believe. So it was like very interesting when I got into the email world because I was looking some of my first emails and I'm like, oh my God, what the hell were you thinking, dude? Like they were like really bad, but I could tell that even when I was getting started, I knew that everything depended on me taking massive action. So I would write a daily email to my list and I would just try to communicate, to see, okay, what actually works here and what doesn't. And I was like a customer of Ben Settle, who's considered the world leader in email copywriting education. But I still needed to figure out a few things on my own. Like I was a paying customer of Ben, but if you don't actually invest time and make your own mistakes, write your own emails, see what your list responds to, you're dead in the water. Okay? Now, before I share those lessons with you, I want to make it very clear what it is about email that I personally love so much. Now, in my experience with my own businesses and working with clients, email is one of the most productive online media that you can ever have if you're interested in sales. And I'm gonna read you an I'm gonna read you a paragraph from a book titled "List Building Lifestyle Confessions of an Email Millionaire" by Igor Kheifets, that I think really drives home the point about how important email is compared to other online media. So here's this paragraph. There was a study conducted a few years ago looking into the difference between people who check their email first thing in the morning and the people who check their Facebook first thing in the morning, with relation to how these two groups of people patronize businesses and make buying decisions. So essentially, this is me talking, not Igor. This study wanted to figure out, people who check their emails versus people who check their Facebook pages first thing in the morning. Are they buyers? What are they doing? And the study uncovered a fascinating fact. People who check their email first thing in the morning tended to support businesses by buying their products. On the other claw, people who check their social media first thing in the morning felt they were supporting their favorite brands by liking their posts on social media. Now, take a minute to let this sink in. All right? You have a business, and you have an email list, and you have a Facebook page. And the people who are on your email list, they think that they support you by actually buying whatever it is you're selling. People on social media, on Facebook, they think they're supporting you by liking your stuff. Now, I don't know about your country, but here in Greece, I cannot pay my bills. I cannot buy souvlakia. I cannot watch a movie on the cinema if I try and pay with likes. They will call me an idiot and they will call the police. I have to pay with money. Now, I'll hazard a guess and say that this is true with your country as well. Okay, you have to pay in money. So this is a very eye-opening statistic, and there are lots of other statistics as well that compare the behaviors of people. But if there's one thing that we have found out is that people who enter your email list under the right state of mind. This is very important. It could be like an entire podcast show on its own, but I'm not gonna touch a lot on it. Yeah, I mean, who have like the right frame of mind when they enter your email list, they're like some of the greatest buyers you will ever have, because people on email lists, they buy stuff. Okay, they like buying stuff. Okay, this has been one of those perennial truths in the history of internet. Okay, different media platforms have come and gone. Like, okay, I mean, if you're old enough, you might remember like MySpace. I don't know, some other like platforms. I mean, Alta Vista and etc. But yeah, email has been. I mean, the first email was sent like, okay, let's see when was like the first email sent. Now, the first email sent was sent by an engineer called Ray Tomlinson in 1971. Okay, this is like, I mean, email has been like around for a long time. Why? Because it's freaking productive. It really helps you generate sales. All right. Sure, some people might have some they have some objections, they might have some limiting beliefs around email, and hopefully this podcast will help you like understand the importance of it and how to do things the right way. But yeah, man, I mean, if I had to choose between an email list of 10,000 people who are interested in what I sell versus a Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, whatever page that has like 10x those followers, subscribers, whatever, I would pick the email list like every single day of the week. Okay, because people in email lists are buyers. I'm not sure how many times I can repeat this in a 20-minute podcast, but yeah, I mean, hopefully this makes you understand that, okay, email is important. All right, now let's move on to some of the things that I have seen work in email. Now, let's first talk about the three types of emails. Maybe there are like more. I don't know. Maybe there's like some obscure niche that has like a different type of email. But I have noticed three types being used, and there's only one that's been the most productive in my experience. The first type is those very beautifully designed emails that have like those cool graphics, those really nice images. They're typically used in e-commerce stores because, okay, they have to showcase the product and the product needs to look good. But yeah, I mean, those don't really work, and they don't work for like a variety of reasons. Number one, a very practical reason is that design and images, they can really send your email in the promotions tab or even in the spam folder. Okay, this holds true, like, okay, no matter what email you send. Okay, because yeah, I mean, Gmail, Yahoo, and other email other companies who give you email addresses, yeah, I mean, they are also worried about spam. And since there's no way for them to recognize, there's no way for their systems to recognize, okay, what does an image contain? They can only they can only like read the megabytes and stuff. Yeah, they are worried that, hey, you know what? Maybe your email, the image that you have in your email, is gonna show a penis, okay, or it might sell some drugs. So yeah, I mean, they're more likely to send your email in the promotions tab if you're on Gmail or in the spam folder. So that's like a biggie. That's like a very big problem. And then on top of that, I mean, there has been like almost nobody in the history of email who bought because they saw like a beautiful image in an email and said, oh, I really want this product. Sure, it might happen in some cases, but especially if you're like in an industry where people need a little bit more romancing in order to buy, yeah, images ain't gonna cut it. Like, you can have beautiful images of your products in a sales page where you're selling your product or your offer, but yeah, I mean, other than that, yeah, I mean, images and beautifully designed emails don't work that much. Now, up next, we also have the traffic driver emails. And the best type of I mean, the most well-known industries that use those are people in finance, in alternative health, in weight loss. They're like those very short type of emails. Let me find one and read it to you. I mean, if you have seen this, you will probably recognize them. Let's see, where is go here. Okay, so I'm gonna read the first email I see. So those things, they never try to build a relationship with their email lists. So here's like an email that I've received here. Okay, the from name is Dangers of Tomatoes. So there's no way for you to know who actually sent this. It's not like Fotis Hatzinikolaou. It says Dangers of Tomatoes. And then it says tomato. The subject line is tomato warning. So here's what it says inside it. Most people think of tomatoes as a healthy food. Unfortunately, it's not that easy, and tomatoes are not necessarily healthy for everyone because of certain potentially harmful compounds that tomatoes contain. In today's featured article, my co-author Catherine will take a closer look at why. And then there's a link that says, the problem with eating tomatoes, or what you need to know. So yeah, those are like typical traffic driver emails, and their goal is to just make people click them, open them first of all, because you have to make sure people open your email. They arouse a lot of curiosity, and they make you really curious to figure out, okay, what's going on here. So you will click the page that they're sending you to, and ideally you will buy. Now, those emails can really work if you are driving a lot of traffic to your email list, and yeah, I mean, you don't really care about building a relationship. And again, in some niches, this makes a lot of sense. People who use traffic driver emails, they most of the times sell some type of info product, or let's say supplement. They have figured out the people in the buyers in those niches. Yeah, I mean, they don't stick around for a long time. And yeah, I mean, they just try to make maximum money in minimum time. Okay, they don't care about the relationship. So yeah, I mean, this works for them. Okay, but if you again need a little bit more romancing for someone to feel comfortable to buy from you, those type of emails, yeah, don't work. And this brings us to like the third option and my favorite one, which is the entertaining personality-based emails. I mean, they're like the best ones that I have ever sent, that I have like ever written, both for myself and my clients. And their goal is to actually create a relationship between you and your list. Now, there are different ways to like create a relationship, and some people go to extremes and some people don't. For example, there's, I mean, my initial like email mentor, Ben Settle, once wrote an email talking about him having a wet dream. Now, granted, this was under a pen name, so he wasn't using his real name. But yeah, I mean, this was like a guy selling to people to guys who had prostate problems, and he shared, okay, his wet dream with them. Okay, this is like very personal. Again, you don't have to be that personal. Maybe you could just say, hey, you know what I mean? Yesterday I went with my family to, I don't know, to the restaurant. Okay, and something like interesting happened. And then you use this experience to share maybe like a story, a lesson, something valuable that your audience will read and think, oh, that's interesting, and they will feel like they are developing like a relationship with you. Because if you think about it, that was like the main purpose of email in the first place. It wasn't like necessarily to sell stuff, but it was to communicate between people. Okay, and that's like how people communicate. We don't start an email saying, oh, the dangers of tomatoes and what the food industry doesn't want you to know. That's not something you're gonna send to a friend, okay? You're gonna say, hey man, I mean, yesterday I was like with Jessica and the kids at Walmart, and you won't believe what happened, okay? That's like more normal, that's more human, okay? And again, if you are in an industry, in a niche where people need to feel more trust, and ideally you want them to know, like, and trust you, yeah, those type of emails are freaking amazing. Okay, they're very good. So this is like one of the lessons that I learned, with emails. Okay, those three types, and especially the one that works amazingly for those type of clients. Now, another one of those lessons is, okay, that you actually need to send more emails than you think you need to send. Now, personally, I prefer like sending a daily email, and it's something that I have found out to work like really well both for me and my clients who are like 6, 7, 8 figure businesses. All right, and there's no like logical explanation for this, but there's like a quote that says out of sight, out of mind. Okay, so you need to stay top of mind with your list, because if you don't, they're gonna forget you. And I don't care how interesting you think you are, unless you're dominating their attention with other ways. Yeah, I mean, you need to be like to have like more frequent you need to have like more frequent communications with them. If you were a TV personality and you had like a TV show, and you also went on radio, and you did like Facebook lives, etc., yeah, this would help you. But my guess is that you don't have like this luxury, maybe you don't have like the budget, maybe you don't have like the time to be like, okay, so active and so omnipresent in their daily lives. So if you don't, a daily email is like one of the best ways to do so. And this way, whenever your clients feel ready to buy from you, I mean, they will get, let's say someone joins your list, and for whatever reason, they're gonna feel comfortable buying from you on day 139. Great. Since you're sending like an email like every single day, you will also gonna send an email on day 139 that they join, and they will buy from you. Okay, this is very important, because if you don't, someone else is gonna sell to them. I don't know, and that's gonna really suck. So frequent emails are important. Now, another lesson that I got is that ideally you almost always want to have a call to action in every single one of your emails. Now, there's a difference between having a call to action asking them to buy something, and there's a difference and then asking them to act in some type of way. Personally, I prefer selling something in every email. So I'm gonna send people to a sales page, I'm gonna ask them to watch a webinar, I'm gonna ask them to raise their hand and say, hey, I'm interested in whatever service or product you're offering. I wanna do this. But even if you don't want to do this, or for whatever reason, maybe your business doesn't allow you, maybe you have like, I don't know, maybe you have, maybe you're doing a lot of done for you stuff for your clients, and yeah, maybe your team can take more work right now. Still, if you're gonna send them an email, you want to make them respond somehow to you. Okay, you want to make them like take type of action. So in your case, the action could be to add their email to a wait list, so they will be notified when you have room in your schedule to work with them. All right? Or let's say you could also say maybe you want to educate them. You want to educate them on something that's really important, and for whatever reason, maybe email is not the best way to do so. I mean, I don't know, if you're like a drawing teacher, yeah, I mean, you could just send them an email that drives them to a YouTube video that you just posted. Okay, there are lots of ways to skin the poor cat here, but yeah, I mean, ideally, I want them to respond, to act in every single email, because this way, when you have something to sell them, they will be, you will have educated them, they will be primed to respond. Whereas if you didn't educate them, if you didn't like train them that, hey, whenever an email comes, you will have to somehow respond, yeah, I mean, you will have a harder time doing so. Just think about it, okay? When are you gonna be more likely to get compliance from someone? When you communicate with them daily, but you never ask them anything, and then, like, say 3 months from now, you ask them to buy something, yeah, that's gonna seem like a little bit off, because they will think, wait a minute, I mean, for so long you haven't asked me to act or do anything, yet now you're asking me to buy. I mean, there's gonna be incongruence here. Whereas on the other claw, if you had told them, if you had made it like clear that, hey, I expect you to act, okay, whenever I send you an email, yeah, I mean, this is gonna be more useful to you, all right? So that's like another lesson. Always have a CTA at the end of every one of your emails. And again, it doesn't have to be like a link. I mean, you could ask them to reply to you. Maybe you can ask them a question about what they recently bought, or what questions do they have, so you can create some more relevant content for them, and on and on and on. And yeah, I mean, we're almost like already 22 minutes in, and I have like more stuff to say, so I'm gonna turn this into like a two-part episode. But yeah, I mean, I also had like a few mistakes that people make, but yeah, I mean, let's keep this for next time. Anyway, by the way, I swear, I mean, I didn't plan for this, but since the last lesson that was that, hey, you know what, you want to give people a call to action at the end of every email, I actually believe you should do this in every single sales material that you create, or any type of content. So this brings me to today's call to action, which is that I want you to go to calmandprofitable.com and grab my free report titled 10-Minute Post-Launch Profits. It's a tiny but mighty report that you can read in one sitting, and it's gonna be like very useful to you if you just launched, or you're going to launch a mid or high ticket offer to your email list. Because see, email is important. I mean, I really believe that you really need an email list. And yeah, I mean, I'm proving it to you that, hey, you really need this inside the report. So anyway, inside you will find an incredible effective method that can boost your sales by up to 30%. And what's cool is that this doesn't require a lot of work from you. In most cases, you can profit from this method with as little as 10 minutes of quote-unquote work. And I use the air quotes here because if you have a team member, yeah, I mean, they can deal with this themselves, and you can just sit back and pocket whatever profits you make using the 10-minute post-launch profits formula. So that's all I had to say, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay? Take care. Bye.